Hello, my name's Emma. Welcome to this Build Crafternoon Pack. I'm hoping you'll find some really exciting and interesting things inside this box. The most important thing to say is, whatever you find, whatever you feel like doing with it, that's fine. It's up to you. I'm not going to ask you to make a particular thing. I'm going to ask you to experiment and to explore, to have an idea, give it a go, and then maybe change your mind. Try something else. Or maybe add and develop the idea that you've already had. Get some extra things, perhaps from your recycling box. Maybe you've got pens or paints, markers. Maybe you can add some colour to some things. I mean, some of the bits in here are quite plain, but quite interesting. Have you ever tried adding marker pens to lolly sticks? How might that work? So it's up to you. I'm not going to ask you to make anything in particular, but I'm going to give you a few little tricks and little ideas of how perhaps you might use these materials in an interesting way. So, of course, there are things that you might think you know what to do with. I mean, this might instantly make you think of something, but you might look at it in a different way, perhaps by adding something like one of these sticky magnets. Now, these magnets have got little peel off bit of pink film. You peel it off. It's really sticky. And if you stick that magnet onto something, anything, you will find it might stick on your fridge. It might stick on something else metal that you've got. And then you might be able to look at this or whatever you've stuck your magnet to in a completely different way. Maybe you can use something as your background that you would never normally use. Oops. Play with the magnets. You can cut them up, but be very careful. They're very tough and you might have trouble with that. Something else I want to talk about cutting up is this wire. Now, this wire is brilliant. It's kind of soft, but it also holds its shape. Can you see? Even this by itself is great just for fiddling with. But I want to show you that if you want to cut it, you can use your scissors, but you must do it safely. So if I wanted to cut a piece, I'm going to make sure I've got enough and I'm going to hold both bits. So I'm going to cut in the middle here. Now, what I want you to do is use your scissors and the wire and put them both away from your face. So I can cut it, but there's a chance that if you just cut a small end, it might ping off. And I want you to make sure that doesn't happen by holding the end you want to cut, folding it over and holding them both. Do you see? And then pointing it away from yourself and using your scissors. It might take practice. I think you can definitely do it. Something you can try with your wire is to twist it, to join it. Now, I'm going to show you through one of these, but you could just do it with any two ends. You need to cross them over. There you go. Now, one hand needs to hold one side very still. It will not move. And the other hand needs to turn. So if I turn both hands, it isn't going to work so well. This hand is going to hold tight. I'm going to take the cross, the two ends, and I'm going to twist. So can you see? Holding this one still and moving this one. And what's happened is I've twisted it together. Now it's very sturdy. You can do it with this end too. Just cross and hold the join tightly. Now this is more fiddly because it's smaller. But again, this hand is staying still. And this hand is turning. Can you see? There you go. And also the good thing about wire is you can, of course, untwist and it comes apart and you can use it again. Because, of course, that's one of the most important things about this build box is that you can use it again and again and again. Lots of these bits you can use over and over. You might want to use the box that it came in as the starting point for your exploration. You might fancy making some holes in it. It could inspire you or give you a new way of looking at things. You can add pipe cleaners or wire or string to holes and these start to develop your build. I wanted to show you a safe way of making holes. So I've got a bit of blue tack. You might have that. You might have plasticine. If not, even just a normal rubber will help you. Put it down flat. Pretend this is flat. This is flat on the table. And whatever I want, I've got a piece of cardboard. I put it on top of my blue tack or plasticine. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to push down with a pencil, just a normal pencil, push it into the table and into the plasticine, into the blue tack. Can you see that it's made the hole, but it hasn't made a hole in the table? And it's not broken my pencil, and everything's been very safe. From here, of course, you can make that bigger if you want to. You can get your scissors in there. It's good to perhaps cut little shapes, little lines up inside. And then, of course, you can push it out, cut those tabs off, make it as big as you like. This is a good way to make a hole in the middle of something. Of course, there are lots of things in here with holes in. How might you use them? How might you add them together? I wanted to show you one more thing. You might not have seen this before. This is sticky Velcro. Now, Velcro is something that's got two sides. One hook, which is this one, and one loop, which is this fluffy side. So what you do is you peel off the backing. It's sticky, just like the magnet, and you attach one side to something. There you go, I've attached it to there. Then you take the other side, the opposite, in this case, that's the hooky bit, and you unpeel it. Let's use this brilliant sparkly stuff and attach it to that. So on the back, there's the hook, and on there is the loop. Can you see? So then I can attach those two together. This becomes something, that's the beginning of something exciting, isn't it? But also, I can take that off, and if I attach the other loop piece to something else, I could stick that together. So you could have something that changes. It was silly. You get the point. I really want you to be able to change your mind, change things about, make something different every time. That's what this Build Crafternoon Pack is all about. And please tell me the story. I'd love to hear from you. Send me a picture or write me a message. Even better, can you do a little Zoom call with somebody? Can you FaceTime a member of your family and show them what you've made? Tell them the story about it. They would really love to hear, I think. It would be really exciting. So thanks very much. I hope you've enjoyed it.